I ain't doing this Blackout Tuesday. As is usually the case, I am sure that most of y'all mean well by doing this. So if that means that you want to post a black box on your Instagram feed as a sign of solidarity and support, then so be it. I first heard about this Blackout Tuesday initiative yesterday from a friend who's actually in the music industry. As usual, the sun is going in and out. As usual, there's freaking choppers. More than usual at this particular time. We're going to press on. From my understanding, record labels and whatnot are taking this day as somewhat of a moment of silence and reflection for all of the black people who have been murdered by law enforcement. Again, this might sound well-intentioned, but what I don't understand is how y'all taking the day off is helping Black Lives Matter. There are black people who still have to show up to their jobs today because they are essential workers and we are in a pandemic. There are black people who are working remotely during a pandemic and still have to be upbeat and professional and chipper during their fucking Zoom meetings, all while dealing with not only the regular daily stress of just trying to make it in this country, but compounded with the immeasurable grief of seeing your own people get killed by police again and again and again and again, never with any consequences for these killer cops. And those 4 people I just showed you were all murdered by cops this week. If y'all really want to help black people, instead of taking a day off for yourself, give black people a week off with pay and allow us time to reflect and grieve. This isn't happening to y'all. Who even started this Blackout Tuesday? Because from what I can tell, it was not started by anyone associated with Black Lives Matter. I haven't even seen any evidence that this was started or created by a black person. So now from this music industry Blackout Tuesday initiative, we now have a bunch of people posting black squares on their Instagram in the name of Black Lives Matter. I've even seen some beauty brands pledging to take an entire week off from posting about their dumbass highlighters or whatever. Y'all posting black squares on y'all's IG, y'all not posting about frivolous shit for a few days. This does nothing to address the actual problem. Going dark on social media for a day or for a week, going silent. We are where we are because of y'all being silent. Silence is what got us here. Silence is 3 cops saying nothing while another cop has his knee on a man's neck for 9 minutes. Y'all's silence has been deafening. Black squares are not helpful. This is the epitome of performative. Before y'all jump on another social justice bandwagon, ask yourself, how is this helping? Who is this helping? This is raising awareness of black squares, not of black people who were murdered by police. Again, this is not to shame you or make you feel stupid for participating. I know most of you guys mean well. I know some people are using the black box Instagram post as an opportunity to shine a light on and shout out black creators on Instagram, which is better, but not a single black person is helped by you posting a black square and putting hashtag Black Lives Matter underneath it. That is not for us. That is for you. In fact, it hurts the movement because now when you actually search the Black Lives Matter hashtag on Instagram, you get 0 actual information. You don't see stories or photos of the victims. You don't get any actual sense of humanity. You see a ton of black squares. And the more black squares that we see over the next few days, the more it dilutes the actual message of Blackout Tuesday, if there even is one. This is the same marketing tactic that the fucking Fire Festival used. What are y'all doing? I wouldn't be surprised if this is intentional. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this is another tactic to try to silence the movement. A Trojan horse of black boxes with a bunch of white supremacists hiding inside of it. I hate cynicism, but this has been extremely effective in making sure that actual information about Black Lives Matter does not get shared. Ain't nobody learning nothing from looking at a bunch of black squares. If y'all really want to help, if these brands really want to show solidarity, post the photo of a black person who was killed by police every day for a week to help spread awareness. We got plenty more than 7, so no worries on running out of content. If y'all really want to help, protest. And you don't have to be out in the streets to protest. Protest with your voice by actually confronting racists and racism in your life. Protest with your dollars. Think about where you spend your money, and just as importantly, think about where you don't spend it. Think about the companies, organizations, and peoples that you should no longer support. If you really want to help, donate to bail funds for protesters and post about that, because the police state is in full force trying to discredit and quell this uprising. If you really want to help, stop burdening your black friends with questions about how they can tell you how to not be racist. That is not our job. We are not our own oppressors. Amanda Seales posted a truly excellent video on her Instagram yesterday, and shout out to Keisha for sharing that with me. I will post a link to Amanda Seales' video in the description box. But Amanda Seales was talking about how she knows plenty about the Holocaust, not to mention our own black history. And it's because she educated herself on it. She made the choice. She was proactive to educate herself on it. It would literally never occur to me to ask my Jewish friends to explain the Holocaust to me. There are myriad fucking resources, and it is not their responsibility to teach me. Stop asking your black friends what you can do, what you should read, how you can be a real ally. www.google.com. Empower yourself. Next month on July 7th, there is another blackout planned, and this one to me is far more practical and effective. On that day, July 7th, 2020, not one black person or other person of color in America will spend a single cent. At least that's the goal. The idea is, if we all do this, it will cost the ruling class millions upon millions upon millions of dollars every time they kill one of us. Even more if we factor in our non-POC allies participating in this boycott. I will say this though, the Montgomery bus boycott lasted a year. A year. And that is why it was effective. If and only if we all actually do this, it's a start. But that's all it is. It is just a start. I said this on my Instagram recently. I said that protests are only effective when they are disruptive. If you're just standing on a corner with a sign that says Breonna Taylor, you're still allowing the oppressor's comfort to continue with zero interruption whatsoever. That is not protesting, that is advertising. So if we really want to see change, we have to hit them where it hurts the most, and that's the pockets. Disruptive is not necessarily the same thing as destructive, but I could give a fuck if somebody throws a brick through Gucci's window. Fuck Gucci. There are videos on videos on videos of people vandalizing, causing property damage in the name of Black Lives Matter who ain't even black. I reposted one yesterday of cops yesterday breaking a store window. No protesters in sight. There are absolutely sinister, subversive people moving amongst us. Undercover cops posing as protesters who are specifically there to incite and agitate the crowd and thereby delegitimize the entire movement. And yes, there are absolutely opportunists out here using the uprising as a diversion to just steal shit. And by the way, again, I've seen video after video after video of white people looting in the name of Black Lives Matter. Those who are really with us are not the ones destroying black-owned businesses or attacking civilians. That is not us. At the same time, I couldn't give a fuck about what happens to some stores on Rodeo Drive. Protesters are protesting, whereas looters are looting. But for me, myself personally, posting a black box on Instagram is doing fuck all.
That's a nappy-headed hose there, I'm gonna tell you that now.